What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 2, Justice Society of America. Much needed episode after just finishing watching Arrow. I needed something from CW DC shows that would just lift my spirits, and I got it in Legends of Tomorrow. So, let's first talk about a couple of the issues I had, because, there were a few problems. One, I feel like everybody was just okay with Martin being the leader way too quickly. Obviously there were some issues. Jax didn't think he was up for it. I don't think Mick really wants to be led by anybody. But it seemed like Sarah was just like, yeah, sure. Old means experience, so sure, go ahead. And I'm just like, that doesn't seem like a good idea. He's not really a leader type. Yes, he's old, he's got experience, but really think about it, when's the last time we've seen him really do anything leader-esque? Just because Rex Tyler's just like, oh yeah, you're the leader, that's the only reason you need? It didn't feel like there was enough of a reason on Sarah's part to just say, yes, he's the leader. So that was a slight issue. Another issue I had, it was a small one. It was like one scene. What was it? Crap. I can't remember now. I guess the CGI in this episode was not as good as it normally is. Especially whenever they brought in Discount Hulk. The Baron that injected himself with the serum. He is probably the worst CGI I've seen on any of the shows, to be honest. It did not fit in well with the environment. Even when he was taking on Captain Steel and the other guy whose name I don't remember, he comes busting out and runs through them. Doesn't even touch them and they go flying. I'm just like, you couldn't do the CGI a little bit better, make it look a bit more real. Anyway, slight gripe, but I feel like when you've got a show that has a lot of CGI characters involved, you want to see good CGI. You don't want to see stuff like this. But overall, I think the story was really good. You have the Justice Society of America. You've got Rex Tyler seeing the team for the first time, which I finally realized probably what's going on right now, what happens in this season, is what caused Rex Tyler to come back in time and try to keep the Legends from going back on the ship. So we thought it may have been what happened in the last episode is what Rex Tyler's talking about. This looks like whatever happens next, whatever plans Eobard Thawne has put in place, that's probably what Rex Tyler was talking about when he told them not to come back to 1942. So, very interesting to see that. It's interesting to see them work alongside the Justice Society of America, because when they lost Rip Tyler, I was thinking, yeah, it's weird that they don't have a leader. I wonder if they're going to show that well. And sure enough, they show it very well that without Rip... Did I say Rex Tyler? Without Rip Hunter as the leader, the last episode we saw, they're kind of a well-oiled machine when he's in charge because he knows their strengths. He knows how to utilize them very well. Without him, they're so disjointed that it doesn't feel like they could really take on anybody. And the first battle in this episode shows how a team, Justice Society of America, they know how to fight together. They know how to utilize their strengths. They work well together. They easily took down the Legends. It was just no problem because they're so disjointed without Rip Hunter. So it was nice to see the parallels and see how they notice this is what a true team looks like. This is what a good team dynamic can do. That's how well they're fighting together. So they need to sort of make that change. They need to find somebody who's going to be able to utilize their strengths and make good decisions. And in that case, I do think that Sarah will probably be a good replacement. There are even several moments in the first season where you can see some of the parallels between Rip and Sarah and how close they became, because they are kind of similar in a way. Not necessarily storyline, but just their characters, their personalities. You can see the similarities there. So I'll be interested to see how she functions as a leader for now, but it's a pretty good choice in my opinion. The story for this one is also interesting. Like this episode, you've got this Nazi Baron. He ends up with the serum from Eobard that turns him into a Hulk-like thing, and just unstoppable. So now they're trying to get this amulet that the Nazis were transporting to Hitler, and they end up getting it. But then the Baron uses the serum to turn himself into this, and then they manage to capture Ray and Vixen, who at first I was like, what is she doing here? Like, I thought she lived in our time, and then looked it up. Apparently this is Vixen, but it's not the same Vixen that's in, that has her own TV show, and it was in Arrow that one time. So it's going to be like a previous incarnation of Vixen, which is pretty interesting. Her character is fun to watch because I don't know, whenever DC does magic-based characters, at least the shows, it's pretty fun. That part of it, all the shows involved with that part has been fun. So I'll be interested to see how they're going to utilize her. But Ray and Vixen end up getting captured, so they're taken in by the Baron, who wants Ray to make even more serum for him. Of course, they escape. Then they call whoever, Rex Tyler, I guess, he calls in a bombing run, which ends up like affecting like whatever his face is, Professor Harewood? I can't remember his name anymore. I think it's Harewood or Haywood. He actually steps in, saves Captain Steel, who is his grandfather. I felt like that was kind of... It was interesting. I was like, holy crap, he's the grandson of Captain Steel? That's pretty cool. But then I saw where the storyline was going. I'm like, oh, I've seen this done hundreds of times, where you got somebody that meets their icon, meets somebody that they've looked up to, and then this person turns out to be kind of a dick, and then by the end of it, the dick is like, oh, I actually respect you now. They pretty much went that route, because Professor Haywood steps in, saves Captain Steel. The bombing run takes out the big Hulk-like creature, which, I don't know, because all of their weapons seem so ineffective, I was surprised that that's all it took was just one bombing run, and oh, he's dead now. But of course the bombing run doesn't stop there. They bomb again, and that sort of blows them up, which I was like, shouldn't they know to stop or something? Like, shouldn't they be able to see, oh, look, it's our guys, let's stop bombing? But whatever, it causes Haywood to, like, he has, what's it called? He's a hemophiliac. So, his blood doesn't clot, which means when he starts to bleed, he can't stop bleeding. But luckily, what a coincidence, Ray has the super serum. He's transformed it a little bit, so Haywood won't turn into a creature like the Baron did, but it does raise the question, is that going to be the end of it, or is there going to be some side effects that will affect him later? That'll be interesting to see. If it just turns out that, oh, he's healed and that's it, that would be kind of disappointing. Like, I'd want it to be more than that, or else the only reason we saw the super serum was for Ray to have it so he could save that guy's life. Like, that would just be kind of pointless to me. But so all of this stuff is going on. I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is a good episode. And it's about to end. I'm just like, why does this feel ominous? And all of a sudden, Rex Tyler is putting an amulet inside of the case at the Justice Society of America. Here comes Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, and starts telling him, we've met on countless occasions. The last time we met, you went back, you used time travel to go and warn the Legends not to come back to this time, and then killed Rex Tyler. And I'm just like, oh, so what does this mean? Because all I could think was, whatever happens in this season, I felt like was going to lead to what we saw in season 1. Him coming back in the Wave Rider and telling them don't come to 1942. But now that he's dead, what does that mean? Because now he didn't come back, which means he didn't tell them not to come to 1942. I don't know. With time travel, it's always kind of confusing. You want to... It seems like it should just be a forward line. So they travel back to 1942. They all die. Rex Tyler takes the Wave Rider, goes to 2016, where they decide not to listen to him again, and then just continuous flow like that. But now that he's dead, it feels like that breaks up the flow. So how's this going to affect it now? It raises a lot of questions, and that's part of why I think the show does so well, because it can raise questions like that. It's not as simple as, oh, he comes in, does this and this and this and this, and it's done. No, we knew something bad was going to happen, and now the guy that warned them that something bad is going to happen has died, which means he can't go back and warn them something bad is going to happen. So what does this all mean? What's going to happen? What is it? It's interesting. It's interesting, and it raises a lot of questions, and they do it very well. They utilize the time travel very well, and that's something that a lot of shows and movies don't do. They tend to take the time travel concept and just really screw it up and really make it not work. They've done a pretty good job so far. I'm assuming we'll continue on. We'll see more about what Rex Tyler was talking about at the end of season 1, what exactly happened, why going back to 1942 has catastrophic results of whatever they've done. And of course, you've also got where's Rip Hunter in all of this. Like, that's kind of the egging question in the back of my mind is he alive or is he dead? What's going to happen? When will we find out? Will we ever see him again? So, a lot of interesting stuff going forward. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I feel like this season may be a bit more localized. Like, last season, it was jumping from time to time, trying to stop Vandal Savage. This season, it feels like it may be a bit more, we're here in 1942, and it feels like this may be where they stay. Of course, the title for next week's episode is Shogun, so they're probably going to be heading back to the time of the samurais in Japan. But I think 1942 is going to be sort of a home base for this season, where they return, because that kind of feels like what the entire season is building up to is what happened in 1942, what happened to the legends in 1942. So I'll be interested to see how they'll handle this season. They're doing a good job so far, so let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? What do you want to see them do? What do you think they're going to do? Let me know. We can talk about, discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Legends of Tomorrow. And I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.